Rudaki, the master poet of Persia. In the year 330, Rudaki composed Kalila wa Dimna under Emir Nasr Samani in 12,000 verses and received a generous reward. It was written in the meter of Bahr-e-Ramal Musadas, a specific type of meter known for its rhythmic and melodic qualities which Rudaki mastered. This poem comes from that time. Whoever has not learned from the passing days, I will not learn from any teacher. The number 330 is incorrect, as Rudaki passed away in 329, and Balami also passed around the same time. Therefore, Rudaki's composition of Kalila wa Dimna must have been before 326. The author of Salm al-Samawat, Sheikh Abul Qasim Ansari Bilyani Kazvini, claims that Rudaki composed Kalila wa Dimna around 320. It is also possible that the original text in Kashkul had the correct date as 320, which was later incorrectly transcribed or printed. Ferdowsi's statement that the king appointed the translator, the person who conveyed the text, and the entire book was read to Rudaki, likely means that since Rudaki did not know Pahlavi, the translators read the text to him. He would then render it into verse. Alternatively, if Rudaki had been blind at this time, as some sources suggest, the text of Kalila wa Dimna would have been read to him so he could compose it in poetry. If this theory is correct, it would have occurred toward the end of Rudaki's life after losing sight. There is no doubt that Rudaki composed Kalila wa Dimna, and many Persian poets and scholars have emphasized this point. They all agree that Rudaki composed it between the years 301 and 326. Kalila wa Dimna is a collection of Indian fables and stories told through animal characters. It has long been a central part of ancient literature. The Greeks have their Aesop tales, the Arabs have the Proverbs of Luqman, and the Romans have the Fables of Phaedrus, all of which are important examples of this genre in world literature, each with its unique cultural and literary significance. As mentioned, the origin of the Kalila wa Dimna tales is Indian. In Indian and Sanskrit literature, it is known as Panchatantra, a famous book attributed to a writer named Vishnu Sharma, of whom little is known. A version of this text known as Hitopadesha is also available, the source for the Persian Kalila wa Dimna. According to the Arabic translation by Abdullah ibn al-Mukafa and the version referenced in Shahnameh by Ferdowsi, these fables were originally compiled by a wise man from India named Bidpai, also known as Pilpay. Most of the 115 verses attributed to Rudaki in the Kalila wa Dimna align with the Persian translation by Nasrallah ibn Abd al-Hamid. However, as previously noted, Rudaki did not follow the original text entirely and added his own material. Sindbadnameh, another significant work, along with other literary contributions, showcases the diversity and richness of Persian literature. These works not only reflect the cultural and social context of their times, but also highlight the creativity and intellectual pursuits of their authors. The German Orientalist Paul Horn mentions in the introduction to his Islamic encyclopedia that some themes in Rudaki's poetry are connected to the story of Sindbad, or Sindbadnameh, which shows how some verses in Rudaki's work are linked to stories in 1001 Nights, also known as Arabian Nights. Sindbad, or Sindbadnameh, like Kalila wa Dimna, was a book that came to Iran from India during the Sassanid period and was translated into Pahlavi. Later, it was translated from Pahlavi into Persian prose by Khan Arzi at the command of Emir Nu ibn Nasr Samani. The famous poet Azarki Haravi adapted this translation into verse in the 6th century, and the famous scribe and poet Muhammad ibn Zahir al-Samarkandi refined it. According to Paul Horn's research, 3 verses of Rudaki are connected to the Sindbad story. The granules and sugar were lifted clean, and in the turban, the woman tied the earth. The woman left the shop and came as fast as the wind. Then she placed her hand on the bell. A man opened the bell, and seeing the dirt, he cried out to the woman, "Oh, impure one!" Other verses related to Sindbad include, "A prince once existed who was free and adorned with pearls and fine art. On a hot day, a prince's meat cooked. The meat was fat and tender to taste.